Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Owen the Town, and here's what's coming up today. After a good run of form, Luton go to Cardiff, get absolutely spanked. 4-0 the final result. We didn't put up a fight at all. Today we're going to be discussing that defeat in more detail. We take a look at Harry Cornick. Why hasn't it just gone right for him this season? He hasn't scored a goal yet. And I don't know. It's just I don't know about Harry Cornick at the moment. I'm not too sure. No, Batara's shaking his head. No, he's waiting. He's waiting to get in on the chat here. We also answer your Instagram questions, your Twitter fleets, and plenty more. I'm with Dave and Bataro. As always, evening, boys.
Evening.
Good evening, all.
I was going to say, were you not going to talk? I thought you were just going to go the whole day about talking.
He's gloating, isn't he?
Why? Oh,
yeah.
Go on then. Why?
Gloating?
Yeah.
Am I?
Well,
he got an email, didn't he?
One of us is going on Wednesday and one of us isn't.
Yeah,
and
sorry about that, lads.
Yeah. Good luck to everybody who's got a ticket, by the way.
Do you know what, though, Dave? Like I said to you earlier, I would happily get my my ticket for the day just for you.
Yeah, but then I'd have to go with your bloody uncle. I'd have to go with your uncle, though, and I don't like him.
Hey, if he's listening, that's not a very nice thing to say.
He knows I'm joking.
Yeah, that's a bit rude.
He's a good guy.
Well, if you were one of the lucky ones to get... if you were one of the lucky ones to get a ticket, Batara just lobbing stuff there, sorry, then enjoy it on Wednesday. I'm sure it's going to be incredible to be back, isn't it? Me and you were saying this earlier, Batara. It's like 9 months since we were at a game.
Well,
9 months.
Listen, it's going to be a bit different, isn't it? But you know what? Enjoy the experience. Hopefully, we get a result.
It's a bit strange, though. You have to be out to go to the toilet. Excuse me, miss, can I get out of golden time? Go to the toilet, please. It's crazy, but yeah.
It's crazy times, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
it's mad, mate.
And you look, it was good. It's impossible to please everyone as well with this draw.
Yeah, of course.
It's
a lottery, and as always in the lottery, I don't win first time. So that means you're done for the first 4 or 5 weeks. So
cheers,
I'll get to go eventually.
Well, at least you guys got season tickets and you're actually in a draw. Unlike me,
I
mate, just literally can't do anything. But
you could have,
is what it is.
You could have hold your own destiny there, but it's fine.
Yeah, true.
Hold your own destiny, shall I say? But no worries about it, mate. You go and work for Brentford, it's fine. Anyway, moving on.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, moving on. We're going to have to move on because we're going to have to try and get in and sum up Saturday's 4-0 defeat. You said on Saturday that you were going to do this one absolutely steaming because you just couldn't talk about this sober. How are you feeling?
I'm getting there.
Good.
I don't want to be as pissed as last week, though. Excuse my language. But no, because that was quite bad. I don't actually know what I said. I didn't want to listen to it back. I thought it was quite embarrassing for my behalf, but whatever. But at the same time, yeah, I'm getting there. I've got one waiting for me, so.
I'm excited then. 3-word reviews of Cardiff 4, Luton Town 0. Robert says lost for words. Leanne could have been more. James says an eye-opener. Dave, over after 10. Darren says absolute fucking shambles. Hatter Gray says onwards we go. Dan can't defend crosses. And Chris and many others has said stop playing favourites.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, I'll get closer. Sorry.
Yeah.
We was having a little conversation earlier. But no, Chris and many others, stop playing favourites. It's so true. You can't be taking your players off after 36 minutes because them players shouldn't be playing anyway. I'm going to have a massive shake-up, he says. Doesn't happen.
Well, he didn't really shake it up at all, did he?
Did.
Stop. Yeah, get the new boys on. Get the ones that we were excited about joining the club. Give them a go.
Well, even Morel when he came on.
Yeah,
like
he was really good.
Record, but he did
really
well.
good.
He had a good shot inside the post and whatever else. But
yeah, definitely could have been more as well. Leanne,
Yeah,
you're definitely right. And Rob, I think was all lost for words, weren't we?
And even over after 10.
Oh God, we
all looked at each
yeah.
other and said, "Look, that's probably done now."
Yeah,
which was a shame because like you look forward to a game and then 9 minutes in and it's like, well, that is literally it.
Yeah.
I had more fun trying to bet on corners, but that's literally what it was. And yeah, I'll be honest, it was quite boring after a while, wasn't it? The same sort of mistakes, the same lofted balls over the top. You couldn't deal with it. I don't understand why we couldn't deal with it. We've looked solid all season. and that just happens. Maybe it's a blip. I don't know. Let's just hope.
It was atrocious.
Yeah.
There is no other words. In fact, that was my 3-word review.
If we look at like the team selection then, and people are saying like, why is Nathan Jones playing his favourites? He said in his interview, it comes down to like trust, doesn't it? So like my question would be like, why at this stage can't he trust a player like Lockyer or a player like Morel at the moment? Why are these? I know these players obviously have to like, but like surely, if they're good enough to play, they're good enough to play.
Yeah.
And you tell them to do a job. They're only going to gain trust by playing games. Like, how is Lockyer going to gain like Nathan Jones' trust if he's not playing games?
Well, maybe that's just the. You know, obviously we said about obviously when Nathan Jones came back. You know, it's a great thing to see. But maybe this is the thing with Nathan Jones. He brings people in. He only plays the same people because that's what he knows. Maybe this is where the inexperience as a manager comes into. I know people are going to slate me for saying that, but maybe it's true because he doesn't want to pick another team. It's like me on FIFA. I don't want to play. I don't know. Chase my team around because I know my player scores every like 3 goals every sort of 4 or 5 games. Same sort of thing. Obviously, it's a bit different, but
no, I kind of get what you're saying. No, I kind of get what you're saying.
You know what balance you want from certain players, and maybe from him, from his point of view, he knows his formula, which he thinks works.
You're basically saying you're frightened. He's frightened of playing people he's bought and he's brought into the club.
I wouldn't say frightened, but I say that whilst it was all going good, which it is going good, I still got to say it's going quite good at the moment as well. He's not ready to change that too much or drastically because he knows that he's got a fine balance with certain players that he trusts.
Yeah, but then he's got to, sometimes you've got to take that plunge, and it's obvious to everybody on Saturday who needed to come off that pitch really early.
But we've not seen it over the years though. From like even John Steele, he was the same with certain players. He wouldn't take him out of the team.
No, because they live off their past experiences. Yeah, I get that. But when you see that your team is playing that bad, then there has to be a shake-up.
The questions rise from when you see your international centre-half on the bench and you're playing your central defensive mid and centre-half. That's when I think people are sitting there going, well, why isn't Lockyer playing? Why is Glenn Ray starting at centre-half? Because I think we look better with Glenn Ray as a central defensive mid. I don't think Glenn Ray's been that good recently, but
no, he hasn't.
As a central defensive mid, I think he's all right. So for me, I'll be putting Lockyer at centre-half. Why hasn't he done that?
Well, everybody's asking the same question, aren't they? We don't know. We literally don't know.
It's
frustrating.
It's a strange one.
It's really
as soon as we
frustrating.
signed Lockyer, I mean, I remember saying to you boys, I mean, I think it's a very good sign. I still think it's a very good sign. He's a very good player, Lockyer. Can't understand why he's not given the chance. I can maybe understand that he wants to maybe, look at certain people like Glenn Ray. I'll see how he could do it at centre-back. Because the thing is, we've seen him play at centre-back in the past in lower leagues. He looked good. Can he do it? Obviously, just as well as holding midfield, maybe, I don't know, but I probably still trust him. Me personally, I do trust him in that position, but sometimes you've got to look, and people might sit there and go, well, at the same time, why give him the game time when he's been performing, but other people when they come in been performing as well, whereas Lockyer's been injury prone slightly this season at the beginning, and hasn't really played a lot of football. Maybe it was breaking in.
I just think it's hard to make that decision as a fan, really, isn't it? As a manager, you got it all on your back as well. Him and his assistant, he got it particularly badly wrong on Saturday, and he's first to put his hand up for it.
Maybe it's just one of the things as well. Obviously, Nathan sees them in training every single day. He knows how they're performing. Maybe it's just one of the things where Lockyer at the moment just hasn't done enough in training to warrant a starting place.
Maybe, and look, people see different things. I mean, it depends what you want from a player. I know what I want from players is composure, is strength, belief, a bit of aggression. But obviously, you need to find balance in them sort of areas. But like I always say, obviously how much I bang about Sonny Bradley and certain other people like Berry and whatever else. Me personally, if I was a manager, see, I'm not professional. People go, "Oh, you're not professional." Yeah, I know that. But I wouldn't take them out. That's the way I'd look at it. So I understand from his point of view why he's doing.
Someone slated you for Bradley on Twitter the other day.
Did they?
Someone said, "How's Batara going to defend that from Bradley?"
That's all right, mate. One in about 50 something. So
I know.
that's fine.
But everyone was poor at the weekend. Before we get into the
nothing to defend, but can I just say nothing to defend? He's been one of our most consistent players in the past 2, 3 years. Yeah, 2-3 years. So don't matter. Don't worry about that.
So before we get into the 4-0 then, 2 more team selection talking points. Pearson at right back when we've got Bree on the bench. Questionable?
Yeah.
What? Bree?
Why is Pearson playing right back if Bree's on the bench? Why is Bree just not
At
coming
the
in?
same time, Bree's been out for quite a long while. And do you know what? At the end of the day, Dave, come on. You're saying yeah, but
No, I would say start if you've got.
Pearson's been doing all right recently.
I'm not saying he's not been doing all right, but if you've got your natural right back there or your wing back there, give him a chance. He hasn't played much. Well, then start him, then take him off if he's not that good, and then change your team. That's what I would have done. But then again, I'm not manager of the club, am I?
Yeah, like we all say. But I do understand that to a certain extent. I understand that.
But if you've got,
I'm sitting here defending Nathan Jones the whole time here.
If you've got a goalkeeper, you wouldn't put him in midfield, would you? You know what I mean? So why would you change your players around like that?
Oh, cheers for that, Dave. Cheers for clearing that.
No, it's true though, isn't it? It's true.
No, I get you, but what I'm saying is with this whole thing, I understand it to a certain extent because obviously we're playing Cardiff. You want to be solid. Do you know what I mean? Matty Pearson's more defensive minded, whereas Bree, I was looking at in this last sort of 2 or 3 games. I've been saying I'll bring Bree on like sort of right wing back or whatever, like push him higher up the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't really trust Bree. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
there's that trust word again.
Yeah, exactly. After last season, I don't really trust him as an out and out defender. And sometimes against Cardiff, they're a physical team. They'll give you some problems. I wouldn't have played him. No way would I have played him.
Oh.
But obviously that's his preference. That's his subjective. Do you know what I mean, for everyone? But look, it's I don't know. But yeah, just move on with this.
Tunnicliffe, the other one.
Yeah.
The thing is with Ryan Tunnicliffe, right? He's clearly, he looked good when we signed him from Millwall. Like some of the clips I saw, he was banging them in. He
looked decent, yeah.
He was looking a solid player, like a proper transitional player that could get you from defence to attack. He's just not looked on it really, has he, since we've signed him? And I want him to do well.
Yeah, of course. We all, mate, he's a Luton player. We all want him to do well. But sometimes it just don't go for players in certain systems. And quite frankly, I don't think it's what's going for him.
Can you see it working out for Tunny here?
Nah. I think he'd be gone. I said it last season. I don't know how he's still here. I'm not saying that. He's a good player. He is a good player. But I just don't think he fits what we do. Maybe he's used to being around sort of players that, a bit more... Let's face it. I mean, if he was not exactly blessed with pace and power, is it? Without being disrespectful. I'm not saying they're not good, but...
You're not being disrespectful at all. When he first signed, I had a Millwall friend who, was gutted he'd gone. But, like you say, he hasn't been...
Hang on a minute, Dave. Millwall and friend in the same sentence. That's pretty crazy.
Sadly.
That's mad.
Should we get into the game then? Let's take it as 12 and a half minutes, but let's do it. Do you know what, right? I just feel like it was one of them afternoons that someone went down on the edge of the box and the ref played the advantage, didn't he, in like the first 2 minutes for us, and we could have had a free kick on the edge. And he played the advantage, and they went at the other end, got the corner, which they scored from. And I'm just thinking, why on earth haven't they given us the free kick there?
I've got no problem with that.
I think I have. I've got big problems with that. It was a massive free kick. He blows. If he gives us a free kick, then we have a bigger opportunity than we had. We could have done it at our own pace, and then we were chasing back on a counter attack. Rubbish.
But at the same time, we were poor and we give the ball away. So
the thing is, though, I know I don't want to dwell on this too much because it's stupid, but with a free kick like that, I think it was Collins who probably went down. Because Norrington Davis had no one in the box. So he tries to cross that ball and there's no one in there. So it's like, why wouldn't they have just given us the free kick? Might have scored. Anyway, forget it. It's done. But they went up the other end, got a corner, and they scored from it. Yeah,
but at the same time, though, you cross the ball with nobody there. If you get, obviously, is that correct what happened? You crossed the ball and no one was there? Do you know what? I honestly can't remember it.
I think he lost possession, didn't he? Did he cross it at all?
He tried to cross it.
He tried to cross it.
But at the same time, though, he could have gone back and then back across goal. Do you know what? You can sit there and go from every single angle. You can get about 20, 30 angles.
Yeah, but
different points from it. But
the advantage rule is if you lose, if you get given the advantage, and then you muck it up, then that's your fault, right?
Did we not fuck it up though?
Yeah, we did, but
but
there was no advantage there, was there at all? And that's the problem I had with that rule. If we'd got if we got a free kick, we would have had a better opportunity to score. We couldn't handle the counter attack. We gave a corner away, and then we started crying with the goal, didn't we?
Well, the corner came in. I think it was Pearson lost his man, and Sean Morrison headed home, completely unmarked. It was terrible, wasn't it? I think we all just looked at each other and was like, "What on earth was that?" Not great at all. And then 5 minutes later? Not even that, was it? It was like 4 minutes later.
Yeah. Was it 2 goals in 7 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
4 in 9, 2 in 9, wasn't it?
The best thing about their second goal is it came from our own corner, didn't it? And you know what, right? It went down that left-hand side. I think there was a stage where we had 3 players around that guy on the left-hand side.
Is that Bennett bloke a left back or whatever he was?
And for some reason, no one tackled him. No one did anything. Just no one did anything. And
Which
then
goal was this now? The second one or the first?
the second one.
Second, yeah.
And that Ojo passed it into Harris. And, yeah, easy. Past Luger. Luger had no chance.
Yeah, you can't blame the keeper at all, but yeah, not just. It was just then you go sit down and go, well, that's that done. There's no, we didn't look. I thought we started quite brightly in the first couple of minutes, but after that was I'd had enough.
We're at 2-0. It's game over, isn't it? Realistically, away at Cardiff, 2-0.
2-0 in 9 minutes. That's the problem. If you have 1-0 for a bit and then you're playing at them for a bit and you don't get that lucky break or you don't score, and then they get one in the 40th minute, you just think, oh, our luck's not going our way. But 2-0 in 9 minutes, that's when you go, yeah.
It's almost like every single important 50-50 in the game went to them, and there wasn't many in the game, and they all went to them. Don't get me wrong, we had some good spells of possession. I'm not saying they were brilliant.
Our possession
but they
was
were all right.
Yeah, our possession was all sideways and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
All the possession we had, did I read a stat? 60-odd%. I don't know.
Yeah, 68, I think.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Like 64,
but most of
68?
that was because they allowed us to keep the ball where they didn't have to do anything with it. When we got to the danger areas, we did nothing with
They
it.
don't mind jogging side to side, do they?
Nothing.
Well, we had a chance with Pelly Ruddock. Keeper saved it. I think it was off target anyway. And then we made a double substitution on 38, 39 minutes, didn't we? And this could be what you were just saying. We have so much possession. It's always backwards and sideways, which obviously you do to try and make an opening. Anyone who knows football understands the backwards and sideways, obviously.
Yeah.
But do you think the reason we don't play that killer pass is because of our forwards not making them runs for the killer pass? Or is it, do you reckon that could be something?
I just think sometimes we play for we play for a clean sheet sometimes. I know that sounds pathetic because we ship 4 goals, but you know what? Sometimes I think we play for the, just keep it solid at the back. We don't need to score. We will nick a goal and we just defend on that, which we do it quite a lot away from home. And the fact is that, you're playing, who was it up top on Saturday? Collins, it was just him, wasn't it? With Cornick on the right-hand side. Who was on the left-hand side?
See, that's how interesting the game was.
No, he didn't start.
But either way, I think there was only one out-and-out strike, and then straight away in the 30-something minute, he put Nombe on. And we looked better with him on the pitch. We did, didn't we?
Well, that's what I noticed about Nombe is if you watched him closely, he's pointing down. He's trying to get into them positions where he can point for a ball to go in behind so we can go for a run, which I think you look at, and I think that's what we've been missing because Collins is so go to his feet,
He's
hold
defensive.
it up.
He's
a defensive forward, yeah.
Defensive forward.
We haven't really had for a while. Maybe since
an attacking attacker,
like Andre Gray or Isaac Vassell,
out and out, sort of get him behind, pace him off. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
But players we watched that West Ham Villa game on the telly. A player like Watkins who can play on that last defender, get him behind. We haven't had that for a while.
That's the difference between a £30 million player, though, Grace. I know what you're saying, though. We need to. Sorry, I know it sounds controversial, but I keep saying it. But no, I do get you. I do understand it. But you know what it is? Maybe that's just the way Nathan wants to play because it's looking like that. Is it me that just thinks that? Sometimes I think he wants to play like that. He wants to just be solid in and around midfield, dominate the midfield. You create a few chances and you'll score one. That's his belief. I can't see anything other than that.
Do you think we have, Nathan Jones in his head has a way he wants us to score a goal? Guardiola wants to score like that perfect goal, doesn't he? Do you reckon Nathan Jones in his head,
Nathan Jones wants to defend.
What's a Nathan Jones goal?
Nathan Jones' goal is keeping clean sheets and nicking a goal at some point in the second half. That is a Nathan Jones goal, is it not? Because this sort of keeps saying 1-0 away from home every single time.
Well, I don't care.
No, we don't care. I'm not slating it. But if you're asking me what a Nathan Jones goal is, make sure you're solid first. Don't worry about scoring a goal. If the opportunity comes, just don't throw too many men forward. Make sure you're balanced.
I think the passing is the way to create, isn't it? That's what he's thinking. Pass rather than pass, keep possession, and then look for that little space. It's a chess game, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, summed that up perfectly. Chess game. There you go. It's very. What's the word? It's not. I mean, you see certain teams. Obviously, you can't compare us to a lot of teams in Europe and whatever. But you look at teams in the Championship, for instance. Let me think of one. I don't know. Bournemouth. They play very attacking. The two fullbacks go forward. They join their midfield. They left with two, centre backs with maybe one holding midfielder sat there on the halfway line or whatever. Teams, we don't do that.
Yeah, well,
we don't do that.
We did do that against Birmingham, didn't we? We just didn't convert.
Yeah, but we were just shit against Birmingham. Let's face it.
No, we weren't. We just didn't convert all our chances, which was so we can do that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sorry,
we can do that.
That's rude. You're not shit, but we're shit at finishing.
We were stupid on that day, not putting that away. And any other day, other game, you put that away. So we do that at times. We didn't do it on Saturday. In fact, we didn't do anything on Saturday.
No.
I can't really remember the next two goals. I know one was from a corner one. It was like a poor header and like flimsy arms from Sluga.
It was definitely from a corner because I remember sitting there. Do you remember I stormed out the fucking thing and went, "Oh, fucking another set piece, fuck you." Do you know what I mean?
That mate, you were gone.
Crosses.
And then the next one, I don't know what it came from. It was a cross that headed it out, and then he absolutely smashed it past Sluga.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we all knew Sluga was injured because he didn't dive with a stretched arm, did he?
It was awful, wasn't it? It was just awful. Morel hit the post 25 yards out. Really good shot, wasn't it? And for, you look at that from Morel and you think that's what we could potentially have.
That's what we should be having as well. We should be having. Don't understand why he's not starting. Let me be funny. There's players on that pitch. I can name 3 right now. Shit. I've been shit the past few weeks and they need to get out of the team. But I'm not going to name names because it's not a disrespect thing from their point of view or my point of view or whatever. Because at the same time, they're Luton players, but something needs to change in that midfield. Something needs to change. There's not enough pace. I know people might say, Pelly, bit of pace and power and that. Not doing it at the moment. Needs to come out as well.
It was obvious to any Luton fan watching that game who didn't perform on Saturday. And it was practically 90% of the team.
Of course it was. I mean, even Sonny Bradley, like you said, you can't really defend what he was doing the other day. But at the same time, he wasn't great, but he wasn't the worst player in the park.
No.
He was nowhere near. Half of that midfield was utter shite, mate. It was.
It weren't good, was it?
No.
Even
the forward link-up play was terrible. There's nothing there. Do you know what I'm saying? You're getting the ball. What are you doing with it? Absolutely nothing. You're going backwards again. I can't stand to see a team going into the final third or, do you know what I mean, whatever the pitch, and then pass the ball back. I fucking hate that. And that's what kept happening. That's what kept happening. It's literally the only thing that kept happening.
I know I said earlier, like, people who understand the game understand why you have to do it. But there is times where you do think, like...
Make the pass. Yeah. Make the pass forward. Make the run.
Just have a bit of creativity. Like, if you're on that wing, take him on and produce a great final ball. And, we're going to talk about Cornick because I didn't think his final ball was on it at the weekend. No, before we do move on to Harry Cornick...
Can I just say one thing as well? Dewsbury Hall was the only player on the park the other day that turned a player or looked up and got his head up, looked into space and got his picture and said, "Do you know what, I'm going to play this forward." He was the only player. And he didn't even do it half as much as he could be. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you might disagree with this.
I don't disagree
Dewsbury
at all.
Hall is the only player I'm looking at. He's not even a fucking player, mate. He's a Leicester player, do you know what I mean? At the moment, he's our player, but he's the only player that I'm looking at thinking, you're positive. You want to be positive. No one else does.
I think Morel would if he
got the chance.
Started.
Of course,
I think someone like Moncur would be, if he's on. It's just one of them things, isn't it? It's just a day to forget. Before we do move on then, Sluga went down injured, didn't he? I think he's going to be out for a while, potentially, because we've recalled Isted from Wildstone, I think it was. Where is that?
Yeah.
Wildstone,
looks like James Shea's going to be in goal for Wednesday against Norwich.
I mean, we were saying on Saturday they should have taken him off straight away, literally straight away. You got a sub goalkeeper there for if you're not going to do it.
Absolutely ridiculous. How is he still on the pitch? How is he still on? You could tell he was injured. You could tell he wasn't even stretching for the fucking ball, man. Come on, do you know what I mean? He wasn't even stretching for that thing. Take him off.
Yes.
That last goal, all right, he might have gone in still. Is it the last goal where he volleyed it and Sluga just went, like that?
Yeah, for those people not watching on YouTube.
It's almost like it fell left ways. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, mate. I understand why you're not doing it, but you shouldn't be on the fucking pitch.
I think with a situation like that, and after that injury to Raul Jimenez for Wolves, there's been a lot of talk about like doctors' advice, and I think a certain Watford player said on TalkSport in the morning that players should have some like own responsibility to say, what, I'm fit enough to carry on. And I think maybe Sluga looks at that on Saturday and goes, "No, I can play on." And the doctors they're probably okayed it.
Mate, let's face it, he's probably a psychopath.
Yeah, that does strike me.
He's probably a psychopath, Sluga, mate. He starts booting posts and everything. He's a bit of a nut job.
He did kick the post, didn't he?
Yeah.
He booted it.
He loves booting the post.
Mate. Whoa. Yeah. Let's move on to Harry Cornick. Anyway, why aren't we seeing the best of him this season was the question producer Jacob put up on social media today. Do you reckon that's a fair question to ask? Are we seeing the best? Are we seeing the best of Harry Cornick this season?
We're seeing certain percentages of his play at his best, but other areas no. Because his final product, we all know about his final product though, and he hasn't improved it unfortunately so far this season. But at the same time, I'd rather it in the team than out the team.
When he's on the ball and he's quick,
yeah, he's incredible,
and he's rushing down the line, and you're thinking he can create stuff. Mm-hmm. So, is it a fair question? Maybe not.
You say that, and Richard said here, are we not already seeing the best of him? The lad gets a lot of stick, but we'd be a far worse team without him.
Exactly.
My stepdad is a part-time footy fan and has watched us during lockdown with me. Harry is his favourite player. But I think the question, and I'll put to you, which could either back this up or confirm that it's a rubbish question, is would you rather, if you look back at Cornick from let's say the end of last season, would you rather that Cornick or the Cornick we have now?
The Cornick we have now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Then that's a rubbish question, isn't it? Yeah. He's answered it yourself. I think when he's on his game, when he plays, when he has one of those absolute games where he's on it all the time, he's rushing it, and he's really quick, and he can pick out a pass. Like you say, the only thing that lets him down occasionally is his finishing. Then that's the corner you want to see every week.
I feel like he takes too much on himself as well. Sometimes people look at him as an outlet of attack, as a direct, pacey in between out and out, advanced sort of like winger or whatever. And people don't look at other players enough. I think they pinpoint him in certain aspects of his game, and I think it's a bit unfair because at the same time, like you say, I keep saying I'd rather him in the team. Certain people have said it, we'd rather him in the team. You imagine, right, playing against Harry Cornick, you'd hate it. That's the way to look at it. You would not want to play against him.
Do you know what though? No, you wouldn't want to play against him, but if he beats you, the chance of him putting that final ball in are very slim at the moment.
You don't know that because you're in opposition. You know what I mean? From an opposition point of view or whatever.
I think I'd be more scared about playing Loire than Cornick. I don't know, mate.
Some ego's missing though sometimes, but it's not a dig, but
I just think
I
for
like
now,
Harry, so
if Cornick gets into a position where he has to play that final ball, I just don't have confidence in him doing it. And I don't know if that's me being really harsh on him.
Yeah.
But I kind of expect it. I kind of expect him to beat I expect him to beat a defender with pace and his little one-trick skill, his little sidestep thing. But once he's done that,
it works every time, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then when it comes to putting that cross in, I just lose all confidence. When that hits the first man, I'm like,
all right, no, fair enough, I get that. But at the same time, though, where the fuck are the strikers and your attacking midfielders and your people pumping in the box? You can't see them half the time. That's another problem we've got. It's not just Harry Boy, pumping the ball in the box or whatever. It's a shit. Don't get it wrong. His crossing ability was absolutely top-notch shite on Saturday. It was crap.
But that's Saturday. But the other days he's got it, and he whips. The thing is, we'll just headbutt the fucking mic. I got too close that time. But yeah, the thing is, right, with Harry, because he puts the ball in the box, after time, 60% of the time, it doesn't go anywhere. We get that. But where are the options? Look at all these chances or these, certain situations where people are, or he is, should I say, where's everyone else? Because I guarantee you, in 8 clips out of 10, there's no one in there in a good position. And you're asking him to do the impossible. You're asking him to put a fucking, a ball on someone's head with a sort of like a 5% chance, because that's what half it is. Because there's not enough movement. There's not enough movement up top either. That's another thing.
Do you know what I would say, though, is that if Cornick was getting in positions and putting them balls in good areas where then you could say a striker should be there, then I could maybe jump on board on what you're saying and say...
But I also hear you sitting there going, oh, that's a shit ball in, but he's put it in the 6-yard box and the defender's cleared it, or he should have gone back post for that. You can't win, Greggs, trust me.
Well, let's read some other comments. Dave says, being critical, I would say he's pretty much a one-trick pony. Obviously, his pace is a fantastic asset when utilised properly, but that aside, I don't think it's unfair to say he's a very average footballer at this level. Constant tinkering in formation haven't helped either, though.
True.
Is his best position in the wing or in a striking position? I think he's similar in both, isn't he, really?
Yeah, just... anything like a free roam or a wing, I don't mind.
I do like this comment from Daniel, though. He says, when he doesn't play, we miss him massively because his ball carrying helps us get up the pitch. He's created a lot of big chances this year. Just a shame Collins has missed them all. Do you know what? When I said about Cornick putting them ball in and you can moan at the striker, that one at Watford is the perfect example of that. He put that in the most perfect area.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Collins has got to score it.
There's an option as well there.
Got to score it. And I do agree. If you get Cornick in a deep position, he can carry that ball up the pitch, and it does help relieve a lot of pressure. Chris says it's a good question. In my opinion, like Colo, he doesn't spend enough time in the box. They work so hard off the ball, which is vital for us to compete, but then end up all over the place. Our final ball quality isn't great either, which doesn't help. And James says because there's no one in the box, and even if there is, they don't finish. Colo versus Watford as an example. Either that or he hits the first man.
Well, that's exactly what we said before you wrote those comments out. You've got to remember, he's only young.
He wins a lot of corners as well.
Yeah.
Wins.
I bet you love that, mate, don't you?
It's true. It's everything you said. He has not a lot of people to aim at sometimes because they don't get in there. And when he does get there, then the striker misses. The Watford thing, it should have been a goal. I feel sorry for him.
No,
so if you're criticising him because people that he's passing to are not converting the chances, that's not fair. And when he does hit the first man, it's frustrating. But there is something there in him, otherwise he wouldn't have him in the team.
Can I just say another thing, right? What I'm thinking right now is people say, he hits the first man. But how many times has he got 3 or 4 defenders around him?
Exactly.
He still beats 2 or 3 of them.
But when
the last one, he tries to get the ball in and he gets a corner or whatever, gets blocked or...
Yeah, but
you can't really... I don't think you can blame him for that.
But when he's got 2 or 3 around him, that offers space for other people to go into, and that's what we're missing. And or that then that's when you want that little backwards pass so we can beat those 3 people.
But I don't... For me personally, I know it sounds like I'm backing up quite a lot, but at the same time, I don't think we've got the movement off the ball. I don't think the players around him offer enough sometimes.
That's what I just said, isn't it?
But
Exactly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But like the whole thing with obviously beating players and the whole back little pass and that, I don't think we can do that because I don't think we have the movement, we have the momentum with us. It's like after time we break up the pitch, he's faster than the majority of the team. They're not with us. They're not keeping up and not up to date. That's what I feel. But look,
I think when we as a team play at pace, we play much better when we play fast football, and Cornick is essential in that for me because he is quick, he can move quick off the ball, he can actually run onto stuff, he can make some killer passes. So for me, I think it's a bit of a harsh question. Are we seeing the best of him? I think he could do better, but he hasn't done badly.
I personally don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I think the Harry Cornick from last season is better than the Harry Cornick from this season so far. Yeah, don't answer me.
Well, luckily, I was just thinking. Luckily, we've got more of the season to go, so he can turn that around.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And
I just think we still have a lot more to see of him.
Would you have said that though? Are you saying that based on the end of the season? Or the beginning of last season, because the end of last season was a fantastic roller coaster ride for us all, and it doesn't matter. We did such a brilliant thing to survive last year, so we're all on a high, and I think we look at players with rose-tinted glasses. At the beginning of the season, when we're not winning, when we're getting rubbish results with Graham Jones in charge, can you think back and think, oh yeah, Cornick was brilliant then?
That was when he had a good spell, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
In all fairness, he did have he scored about 3 and 4 at one point.
Is it about scoring goals or is it about creating goals? Is it about performance?
It's about consistency. Consistency. Yeah. Not persistence. I am talking about consistency. Persistence is when he runs, mate, because he is persistent with that. But no, at the same time, I just think like maybe I can agree with the fact that we've not seen the best of him this season. But it also reminds me a little bit of what happened last season with him. Went missing. Showed glimpses. Got better. But the thing is, like I said, I always want... he said Sonny Bradley then, Jesus Christ. He said rose-tinted glasses. I nearly... Not nearly.
Come on, spit it out, mate.
Yeah. But either way, I would rather have him in the team week in, week out.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
On the right-hand side, I don't want no one else but other than him.
Cool. Sorted. That wasn't a Harry Cornick bashing session either. That was just a nice...
I like him.
Nice chat about Cornick. We love Cornick, really. 100%.
Yeah, he might not, but...
I love him, mate.
We love him, really. No, mate, we actually love him.
No, we love him.
What are you trying to say?
We love him. I'm sorry. Let's get into some questions today from Twitter Fleets, because that's the thing, and Insta Stories. So Jamie says, why do people think Ray is untouchable?
Don't know.
I think we had that spell, didn't we, last season, where we really needed a central defensive midfielder. And then Ray come back, and it was like this brand new thing of like, wow, we actually have a naturally gifted central defensive midfielder in the team. And then since then, I just think he's, I think he has looked solid in front of the back four. Just unsure him in the back four. I know we spoke about it earlier.
Me personally, I love Glenn Ray.
Is he
He's
untouchable?
another one. No one's untouchable. No one's untouchable. Apart from Mickey Arford. But I just think
he works in the team, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe about 2 or maybe 3 games in the past sort of 7. He's not been very good. I'll be honest, I could go back to Millwall game. That's probably in the last 7, I believe. But I go back to that game, for example. He wasn't great. But whatever else. And yeah, he hasn't been the best of players. But at the same time, he's another player that I'd rather in the squad. I don't know about you boys, but
I just think, like, who would you play in front of that back four if you're not going to play Ray?
Well, no, this one, you've got to push him up further. 100% have him up in the holding midfield position.
Midfield, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
So with that 4-0 defeat to Cardiff as well, it's now 1 win in 7, which, like, you look at the recent results and you look at the 3 or 4 1-0s we had in a row: Rotherham, Huddersfield, Blackburn, Birmingham. No, did I say Rotherham? I don't know what I'm going about. Either way, 1 win in 7. James said it's not a good stat, yet we are still 12th. Should we start to worry about doing a Charlton from last year?
No, not yet.
Hang on. I think I might have said that Saturday. If we don't start getting a couple of more points on the board, then we are going to drop like a stone. We're only 9 points off the relegation area, but
do we not expect that to a certain extent?
Yeah, of course, because when all our points from the earlier part of the season come from teams that are battling already down the bottom. So I would say 1 in 7 is not a good start, but last week's podcast we said we'd take 4 points from 9,
and we've taken 2.
Well, we said the last 3 games: Birmingham,
Blackburn and Cardiff.
Yeah,
we've taken 2.
Yeah, so we can get 3 points Wednesday. Things change again. Your whole attitude changed again.
And I'll be there.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks,
right.
mate.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks for rubbing
That
it.
was rude, sorry.
Talking of Wednesday then, Dean says, how would you change the team for Wednesday? Do you reckon he's got to now put in the likes of Lockyer, Morel,
he's got
maybe
to
even
change the
Nombe?
team. It'd be daft if he doesn't.
He needs to change something because I'm sick of, like, what is it? Oh, I'm going to change it. I'm going to mix it up, this and that, and then fuck all happens. Like, so let's hope it happens. At least we can't blame him then.
He will change the team definitely on Wednesday. He will.
Morel has to start. I'm sorry. Morel has to play. I keep saying it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of going into the fucking Saturday, I say sick of going into
Norwich
Saturday.
are not
Sick of sitting there watching it and Morel's not even playing. Because Morel is a class player, mate. He's a classy player.
But also, Norwich have their injury problems too, don't they? So, they might be there. They didn't win at weekend, did they?
No, he drew, no?
They drew at Coventry.
Still top of the league, though.
Might be still top of the league, but they drew at Coventry.
We beat him in the conference, so don't matter, does it? We could do him again.
It's going to look, realistically, it's a tough game. You look at Norwich City, they've got half a Premier League 11 there.
True.
They've got players that could play in the Premier League easily.
Not a very good Premier League 11, though.
No, but some of their players could definitely make it in the Prem. Pukki's going to be out of an injury, which is a bit of a plus. Yeah, hamstring.
Oh, yes.
So, we've already beat him in the Cup this season. It could be a big game. It is a big game, isn't it? It's a big game. And if we can get 3 points in it.
Is Buendia playing?
He's a class player.
Yeah, as I say, is he playing?
He is a good player, probably.
Hopefully he's not playing because he's unreal.
But we're at home. We'll have the mighty 1,000 of you there cheering them on through your masks. And hopefully they'll put in a performance.
I'm really excited for everyone going to Kenilworth Road on Wednesday.
Oh, thank you.
I'm actually really excited for you all.
Are you not gutted for me?
I'm gutted for you, yeah, but I'm excited for everyone actually going because it's just nice. It's just, you feel like this is like a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, isn't it? With the whole COVID thing. And if we can get 2,000 in for the next home game after this 1,000 event, maybe by April we have 10,000 in for that Watford game.
Yeah, my bloody luck. I don't get pulled out for the next game either.
No, you'd be right, Dave.
No, and you're lucky. It'll be for the Reading FA Cup tie.
Oh, I'm not going to that.
I'll turn that down. I'll be like, nah, you're all
It's
right,
not
mate.
happening, you're all right.
That.
I'll stay at home, get drunk.
Shocking that is.
Should we do Will's final question there? If you can have a theatrical pint with a Luton player, who would it be?
Ooh.
A theoretical
What does that
pint.
mean?
Theoretical. So you invite someone out for a beer and they're going to come and join you.
Mickey Arford.
Mickey.
No, fuck,
Well,
like,
you
drink your pint as well. No, thank you very much.
It's
I
a
ain't got
difficult.
that much money.
That's a really difficult one to answer. By the way, just before we go on, can I just say about the legend thing last week? I just realised when I was talking about it, I was thinking about players. But when you think about the real Luton legend at the moment, it's Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Totally Mick. 100% Mick Harford for everything he's done for this club. 100%. He needs a statue.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it's what we were saying earlier. He needs a statue, mate. The guy's unreal.
I'd like to have a pint with Joe Payne and ask him all about those 10 goals.
Nice.
and really how how it came to be.
I'd have a pint with Chris Coyne and tell him to hurry up and get our Christmas podcast sorted. That's what I'd say, Chris Coyne. We're working on it. We're working on it. I'm excited.
Joe Payne was the better one.
Anyway,
you can still get a pint with Chris
Yeah, but
Coyne because he's
last
already
one
said he's
was-
going to go out for the pint with you when he comes to the UK, mate.
true.
But no, I can't just say don't even ask Mick Arthur for a pint because he came to our football presentations a few times. He drank the bar dry.
I'm not surprised.
Big Mick, you're a legend. Love you, but stop drinking the beer, mate, because I want some.
You want some? Not like
think
you've
you've
had
had
like
enough.
eight tonight or anything, mate. But whatever.
We
Nice
had a
one.
good sesh, though.
Good podcast today, guys. Thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for listening. Thanks so much for watching. We're back on YouTube right now. Owen the Town, go search for us if you want to watch Bataro lob something at Dave at the start of the podcast, which you probably
I do
couldn't hear.
apologise about that.
Bataro.
Sorry, mate.
Enjoy Norwich if you're going. Give them a cheer from us. Share your pictures with us on the socials, Owen the
but
Town.
just think about it, Bataro. There's only 1,000 people there. If you drop your mask for a bit, you could shout about the podcast, and we'd all hear you.
That's a good point, actually. Wait, let me know. I'll tell you what, if I'm near the cameras or that sort of end, then I'll...
Just do the shout, man.
Yeah, I will.
Shout for us. I
I'll
love
tell you
it.
what I'll do. I might even get, topless with it.
No,
don't do that.
No,
Don't do
because
that.
I can put some... No, because you get...
Oh,
whatever.
there you go. If you go to Norwich, you might see Bataro topless. Brilliant. On that note, we'll leave you. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Like us on socials, like us on YouTube, whatever.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Enjoy Norwich, and we'll see you next week.